All right, science folks, we're going to go through a little bit about the periodic table and kind of the different parts of it. And so you're going to copy this down on yours. We'll have some colored pencils for you. So here's the periodic table. Lists all the different elements on the periodic table. It's kind of organized in a certain way. So the first thing is, if you see, and you might have to pause it for a second, but right here there's a line. You can color that line in. That separates metals and non-metals. All right, and we'll talk more about those in just a second. So here's the periodic table elements. We're going to go through some of the different parts and some of the different names here. So the first ones are the alkali metals. So again, it doesn't matter what color you use. I'm going to use kind of this bluish, purplish color. Okay, and we're going to make a little key here. So the alkali earth metals, or alkali metals, is this row right here. So I'm going to have you color that in so we know that those are the alkali earth metals. Okay, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information about both of these as well, or all this stuff as well as we go through. So alkali earth metals is the first group. Next, doesn't matter what color it is. We're going to color in the alkali earth metals, which is this next row right here. Color that in as best you can. We're just making a little key right here. There's my alkali earth metals. Next is the transition metals. So the transition metals are, I'm going to do green. Whoops, I got emails calling me here. So basically the transition metals are this middle section right here. So all of this, okay, all the way over here. We'll kind of color that in. Okay, and I'm going kind of quickly here so you can kind of go as slow or fast as you want, but you want to color those in. Okay, there's my next group. All right, then next are called the lanthanide series, or lanthanides. Okay, and we'll do that a pink, and that's this first row right here. So basically, if you look, this row right here, 57 through 71, gets transferred down here. So that's this row right here. We'll color those in. All right. And then we'll do another color here. These are the actinide series. It's a little dark. I'm going to use a little darker red here. Color that one in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a different color here. Maybe we'll use kind of the bluish color, because that is a little bit too similar there. All right, so this will be kind of my bluish color here. It's this bottom row down here. Okay, then lastly, we're going to do other metals. We're going to do that kind of a yellowish color. And the other metals are going to be right here. I'm going to color all the way over the edge here. Basically all of these metals here. Okay, now I might go over some of those in just a second here, but so this line represents all the metals. Okay, so on this side, all of these things we just colored in are metals. All right, and so you can see most of the periodic table is metals. So on the back, we're going to write down metals, and the characteristics of metals are they are shiny, and they're good conductors of heat and electricity. All right, so good conductors of heat and electricity. And the alkali metals, which are the first group here, these ones right here, not including hydrogen, those are the most reactive metals. Spell. Okay, those are the most reactive metals. Okay, next we have something called the metalloids. Okay, so now I did color some of these in already, but we're going to go back over them. So the metalloids the metalloids are these substances that are kind of along the line here, and they include some metals and some non-metals. So we're going to color in all of these. They're kind of right along the line. All right, and then let's see here. We're going to do this. And I think kind of depending on which one you look, sometimes it'll include this as well. Okay. So those are all of my non-metals. Okay, or metalloids, I'm sorry. And metalloids have properties of metals and non-metals. All right, so they have properties of both properties of metals and non-metals. Okay. All right, back to our front here. Okay, so I'm going to go and skip to halogens here. Whoop, I just ran out of ink there. Let's see. Let's use a color we haven't used yet. Let's see. And I may end up kind of repeating here, and that's okay. Let's see. What's a color I haven't used yet? Use the dark green. Okay, we're back here. So I'm going to use this green here to fill in this one. And those are called the halogens. Okay. And then I got a new red here. Last one here is the noble gases. These are the noble gases. Okay, and then we're going to leave this white part as non-metals. So here is what we got going on. Here's my line. This direction is non-metals. All right, and then everything on this side is metals. Okay, and a couple things about non-metals. They are not shiny, not good conductors. All right, so they're basically opposite of metals. Okay, and then noble gases, which is this first row right here. Noble gases are non-reactive, metals, and halogens, which are this green row right here. Halogens are most reactive metals. Okay, so kind of broken down the table into some of its different parts. We got metals on this side of the line, non-metals. We got some metalloids. Okay. A couple other things we're going to write down are we're going to write down some numbers, okay? So I'm going to write down 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. Okay? The other thing we can write down is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so all of those numbers are representing the rows that are going up and down, the vertical rows. And we call those vertical rows groups or columns. Okay, so the vertical rows are groups and columns. Okay, and these vertical rows, these groups or columns, tell us what are known as valence electrons. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. Okay. Then the other thing you're going to look at is on the side over here, we're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then we're going to put a 6 and a 7 here. Those numbers on the side are the horizontal rows. And those tell us electron shells. Okay. We're going to explain again more about those in just a second. All right. Okay, the other number I'm going to write down, okay, on the top of each of the rows here, I'm going to write down a charge. I'm going to write down a +1 here, +2 here, +3 here, plus or minus 4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. Okay? And what that is the charge on an atom, an ion, I should say. Okay? So here's how we can use that. So it says element in period 4 have how many electron shells? So it says in the element in period 4. So this is period 4. These are my period here. So if it has, it's in period 4, it means it has 4 electron shells. So 4 rings, and we're going to talk more about that later. Okay. If we have group 7A, okay, group 7A, which is right here, that means it has what's called 7 valence electrons. Okay, and again, a valence electron we'll explain more in just a second. Okay. So, on the periodic table, you can figure out how many rings it has, or energy levels. You can figure out how many valence electrons it has, and you can also figure out the charge on any atom. Okay? So, we'll fill this out. This will be helpful as you move forward with the rest of the lessons here. And for this part, you can fill that out, and then you can check it with me in the part on the bottom.